How we doing today, man? Um, all about transparency, man, and that sucks sometimes when you have a day that isn't really fun to show other people, especially this YouTube channel. But I don't really understand the point in me trying to come on here and make things up and play make believe for you guys. And this channel is just dedicated to my journey of trading, anyways. So unfortunately, we have been trading really, really well this month. So I'm gonna take nothing away from my progress. I'm not gonna take any. I'm not gonna be, you know, just because I was just undisciplined today. I'm not gonna just. I'm not gonna let that ruin a lot of the gains I've been making trading. But I definitely have to reflect on it. I'm definitely gonna talk about it and kind of, just go over what happened today because today could have been great. It was pretty good. I'm really happy with how I traded my Express account. My Combine, not very much. And just a lot to go over. I have a lot of execution videos to show you guys. Just really frustrating day because I've just been doing so much better recently. Um, but I guess it kind of just shows that everyone can just be undisciplined from time to time, and it's about limiting those times. It's about limiting that from happening, and eventually, it's just going to not be a part of my trading. But I'm definitely susceptible, and there's always triggers, right? And today, I know what caused these triggers. I've done some reflecting. I've spent some time. And again, we're up on the day, so you might be wondering like how bad could it be? Well, it was really bad. Uh, but again, I took some time before making this video to kind of reflect myself and figure out, okay, where did this start happening? What started making me go until, what was going on, right? What was happening here? Let's just pull up on the Combine, right? We should never have any executions on the full contract on the MNQ, but today we had a few. So that is how bad it was. So I'll kind of walk you guys through that. But let me see, my camera's kind of. That's fine. So I'll kind of walk you guys through that. Again, man, I'm not proud of it. I never, nobody wants to do this, right? That's why people aren't honest in the trading space, is because they make a video and then, everyone starts making fun of them in the comments. Everyone starts saying, oh, you don't know how to trade. Oh, you're never going to succeed, all this stuff. So then people will just stop being honest. Luckily for you guys, I've made enough of these videos and I've seen enough of your comments that I really just don't care, if I'm being honest. If you guys want to say I'll never succeed at trading because that makes you feel better, if you want to say that ICT concepts don't work and they're only hindsight garbage, if that makes you feel better, you guys can say that because I've seen it so many times that it really doesn't even bother me. And I have a lot more pride in being honest and showing you guys the reality than just trying to, throw a smoke screen in your face and act like, everyone else, which is untouchable, perfect. And the reality is that's just not the journey, right? I mean, 99% of people aren't going to experience that on their journey. So I'm not going to sit here and try and act like that. So again, you guys, a lot of people are going to be wanting to leave some comments saying how, again, like I'll just never succeed, all this stuff. Cool. If that makes you sleep better at night, do it, man. I hope that if you are that dissatisfied with what you're doing, because I know that nobody that's making money day in, day out, I know that people that make money day in, day out trading understand these problems that people have to go through. They don't support it. I'm not saying to support me and say, hey, what you're doing is good. But just don't be, a little gremlin in the comments trying to act like you're so much better than everyone else and try and put people down, right? I'm all for advice. I'm all for how people can get through this stuff. But if you make money trading, you've gone through periods where you just, whatever rules you struggle with, whatever things you struggle with, you had your own battles that you had to face trading, just like in real life. So get that out of the way. Now we can just talk about the day. I kind of want to just review the market first because I actually think today was fantastic. So it's unfortunate that we had such a difficult time managing our positions and emotions, but I actually think today was really, really good. And it's kind of a shame because if I had the freedom to trade how I did when I was just kind of revenge trading, I mean, I would be a monster trader. But, we didn't. So first, I will kind of want to go over just the market, man. I think today was really, really good. So we had an SMT here, right here. Why is this not working? There we go. We had an SMT right here. Kind of a smaller one. But coming into the pre-market, we had it here actually. I want to go over this one. We had this one right here. And I'm just getting rid of this here. Hold up. All right, so we had an SMT here. And then we had, if we zoom in on the 5 minute, because this was my first trade on the combine. And this is just all going to be preface to where everything kind of just went wrong today. So we had the SMT there, and then we had an SMT as well right here. We had double SMT right here. So going into the market, I saw the SMT on the higher time frame. I saw displacement through this low. I saw the SMT here. And my first entry was this 5 minute inversion right here. When we closed above this or below this gap, I got in short with 2 micros. Got in with 2 micros, just testing out the idea. Had my stop loss around here, and was going to go break even at this low and take 1 profit here and let the rest run. We never got the reach break even. Got really, really close to the break even point right here. Did not get it. Didn't go to break even and took my first stop out. I still really like this model. Again, with the double SMT, the 5 minute inversion, the break even point, I still think this is good. I was bearish coming into the day, which overall doesn't look like it was too wrong of a bias. We had the Judas swing off open. So after having that, we had the double SMT. I don't really need to, I'll go on the 1 minute here and show the SMT here, and then I'll go back to the just one chart for you guys. But here we had an SMT right off open as well. Right here we had this SMT. So this actually did make the trade of the day that I ended up capitalizing on. So this was the SMT. NQ came down lower, ES stayed higher off open. So now that we have that out of the way, I'll definitely pull up just the one chart now. So a lot to go over here. Go back here. We end up seeing that off open, right? We had already taken the loss on the combine, and today I liked the way price was moving. I liked where we were at in the charts to take a trade on my Express account, so I was more than happy to take an Express trade today. The first trade I took, which looking back isn't really the greatest, but we did have an SMT off open, and we had these relative equal lows, so I was very fine taking this trade here. And I got in on 1 micro on the MNQ, so the micros. I got 1 contract on my Express account. I was risking like 16. I'm not sure exactly how much I was risking, but I was going to go break even at this low, and I was going to TP at this low here. So it was going to be a nice little trade. But this is where things started going wrong for me. I'll kind of show you guys the execution, right? This is the first one of the day, but that was the idea. And I don't hate this because I'm pretty sure at the time, let's see, at the time, I think we had an SMT here between this high. I'm just going to, no, I hate doing that so much. Oh my gosh. Bear with me, man. What the heck, dude? I hate this when I do that. Order, I think it's order. Yeah, it is. Order and then blue. It's not really that annoying, but I just hate doing this. All right, we should be good here. So the ES at the time, we're looking at the 931 open and then the other high. 931. So 931, we came up, swept this high at 9 o'clock, the 9 o'clock high, so we had an SMT here. So I didn't mind taking this entry, right? We had a nice SMT with the 9 o'clock high, and I was bearish coming into the day. So it was a little bit early into the day, so I should have waited. If I waited for the macro, I wouldn't have taken that loss. But again, if I waited for the macro, I wouldn't have taken the winner that I took, so I'm not really concerned either way. And I got the break even, so it wasn't a losing trade. And now I'll pull up the execution of that trade and kind of go over. So I'm obviously going to enter first on my Express account. We end up entering right when it closes. No hesitation. We get in perfect, right? Flawless execution on the Express account. Was going to make $90 if it got down there. Very happy with that, right? I was not whatever. I got in as soon as it closed, I got in, and this is where managing the two accounts is hard. I'm not copy trading because I don't want to trade one micro on the combine. I'm just not going to do it. I want to pass the combine in a relatively quick manner. So then it hit the break-even point. I go to break even the Express account because that's how I'm trading this trade. And it ends up giving me a worse entry. So if we go back here, because this is the main part of pulling this up. If we go back, notice I get in on the Express, I put in my stop loss, and by the time I can get over to the combine, the price is moving down here. By the time I can get the 5 micros I want to trade, we enter here, right? And that's just not a good fill because our break-even point's right there. It's just not a great look or it's just not good, right? It's just frustrating because it's hard to manage the two. I'm not copy trading them, so it's hard to get in one. I'm really focused on the Express because that's the one that matters more to me. And then I have to switch over and just, do a lot of different things. And this is where the tilt starts coming in because of what happens next, right? This trade ends up eventually getting stopped at break even. On the combine, but then on the Express account, which is fine, right? That's how I manage the trade. Maybe I shouldn't have gone break even. Hindsight, it helped us, so I'm fine with that. But then I switched to the combine, and I don't want to close out for a $100 loss here just because I should be at break even. We had this 1 minute fair value gap, and I said, you know what? This thing could still play out. Doesn't look terrible. I'll just go break even if it reaches this low. I still think that this looks good, right? I still like the model. So because of the later entry, it caused me to not be break even, which I should have taken a break even on this trade. I should not have really lost on this position. But I didn't want to close because by the time I switched over, if you guys are following, hopefully you guys understand what I'm kind of like explaining. But I wasn't able to go break even, and then it ends up just running and stopped me out. And I'm like, well, this is frustrating. But then I noticed the SMT at the lows. I noticed the SMT. And I see us inverse this 1 minute gap here. And this looked good for the bulls, right? It looked good because we had these highs above. We manipulated lower. We took out the equal lows. We had displacement with speed. We had fair value gaps. So I entered long. Again, I'm happy with this long entry. I'm not upset with the long entry. I'm still doing all right here. I'm just down now on the combine 380 because of the pre-market loss, which was a good trade. And then that loss, which I should not have lost on, but because of managing both accounts, it just messes me up, right? So I end up entering on the combine or on the Express account with a great fill, an absolutely great fill. No hesitation. I get in as soon as it closes, like I should. And I go to the combine and I get in with the 5 micros. And I set my take profit. Notice there, if we had this trade play out, right, if we didn't get stopped out here, we would have been up on the day, right? Even being down close to $400. So I set my take profits, I have everything in place, and I'm watching a combine, but I'm going to switch back over to the Express account because that's the account I'm trading, right? That's the account I care about. I don't want, whatever. So I'm risking $46. If I would have left my original risk there, I think it would have been fine. Would have been barely fine. Let's pull this video back up. Would have been fine, but it ends up running, and I'm thinking, cool, this is great. I almost go break even early, which again, technically would have saved us, but it was against the rules. So I'm happy that I didn't do that. Go break even. And then at this point, I end up moving my stop. Back down because I'm like, okay, this is too early. And I leave my stop there. I give it some more breathing room because I thought that this fair value gap was enough. Obviously dug a little bit deeper. I had my stop right at the bottom of this tiny little fair value gap. And I ended up getting a stop. My combine had already been stopped out. Which was frustrating to say the least. So now that combine's down $600. And again, when we look at this trade really shouldn't have lost because of the criteria for these trades. But then it ends up stopping me out there for $36. Again, if I had my stop under this body, I wouldn't have been stopped. So we get stopped there. We're down 36 on the Express. We're down 600 on the combine, just like that, right? Shouldn't have lost here. We lost about 300 on this trade, and then we lost 300 on this trade. I mean, just really frustrating to start the day. But if we look here, we never close back below the inversion. We actually hold this fair value gap right here that we draw out. We actually hold this fair value gap. So I still like the model, and I wanted to see us if we could get a displacement and the order block around here. I wanted to enter off the order block. So that was my idea, but then I don't re-enter on the combine. I re-enter on the Express. I then go with two micros, which I'm trying to do one micro, but today it was kind of frustrating after the loss. I was down in the other account. I'm definitely a little bit of tilt. I'm not going to critique this account, the Express. I'm happy with how I traded the Express today because I didn't hesitate. I waited for my entries, and I did well with my entries. I do just think that it's frustrating to go in with the two micros, but even in hindsight, we would have just had like a break-even day instead of a bigger winning day, or we would have had a small winning day. But I got in with the two micros because of just being down. If I go in with one micro, it makes it hard for me to TP. It makes it hard for me to, it will go to a break-even point or it will run. Maybe it takes out this high right here, and then it's like, okay, it hits the high, and then it doesn't want to go to the high of, that I'm targeting, and I end up, not making money. So that was in my mind. So I get in. I'm only risking $100-ish. So I would have been done. I'm very confident that I would have been done for the day if I messed this trade up, or I'd not messed it up, but if it lost. So I had that in my mind that, hey, this is it. I'm not trading anymore after this trade on this account. I'll be done. I'll lock it. Is what I was telling myself. Again, who knows what would actually happen, but I believe that I would have been fine. I would have not taken anything else. I'm risking now like $71 because of it looked all right. We had a reaction off the order block. And then I go break even after it hits this high. I have $10 locked in, so I'm guaranteed $10. We're up a little bit there, and then it runs, and I think it hits our first take profit. I end up moving it to this high right here, which ends up making us miss out on a few dollars there, which adds up. But then I go break even. I let my stop, and I end up just closing this trade for around like $75. Because I didn't want to, hold it for that and then just it not get there, right? That's all it is. It was just emotional. It was just fear. It would have gotten there. But I just didn't want to give up on a day that's been really frustrating, right? The combine's down. I didn't re-enter on the combine, so my combine's still down 600 at this point. If I did re-enter on the combine, I would have made it all back and maybe some more on this move. This was just a great move, right? This was a great move. And if we see how it actually played out to this high, we would have had right here. We got out around here. It would have just, no hesitation, it would have been another 24 points. It would have made some more money. It's fine. But if we got in on the combine at the same spot we got in on the Express account, we would have been risking another, $300, and we would have made all our money back. Maybe we would have still been down a little bit because we were down a lot, but it was frustrating because I took that trade. Very, very happy with the Express account. We go to the Express account right here. We were up 75 on the day. That's by far my biggest winning day. And realistically, we should have had a break even, and then we should have just had a winner here. We should have got in on this position. We should have just waited for the close back below, and we could have held maybe to this high, right? Or maybe to this high. Who knows? Regardless, I would have had a winning or a break even day on this account in a better management of the trade. But we ended up winning, right? So the account for this month looking pretty good. It says 4 trades because I took one break even, then a loss. That's 2 trades. And then my third trade counts as 2 because I took a profit. So I'm very happy with this. No more than 3 trades ever. Consistently having winners, right? Finding good trades. I didn't hesitate on my entries today. I'm very, very happy with how I traded this. I'm very happy with this account because, again, like I said, my goal isn't to make the $200 days. It's not to get the payouts. It's just to take good trades, right? To consistently take good trades. And I think we did that today. I'm very happy with the trades I took. I'm very happy with this trade here. This trade looks great. And, if I would have just taken all my profit at this high here, I would have made a lot of money. I would have came out really, really good today on the 2 micros. But again, I'm not going to not take profit this high and go break even, especially being down. Not disappointed with that. That leads me to my undisciplined, and that's where everything started to just going down the drain for me here. Because today was pretty good. Price action was pretty clean. But once you start losing like that, you start losing your head. And then we take out this high here. We have an SMT here, I believe. I don't think ES took out that high. If I remember right, ES did not take out this high still. We did take out this one, but we still had an SMT up here. So we swept London high. So we sweep London high right there. And then we come up, we come down, we put in a low, we hold this fair value gap, and we change the state underneath this low. So we start breaking structure lower. We start running through this 5-minute balance. We run through this 3-minute balance and then this 2-minute imbalance. I ended up actually looking for a short here. And I'll pull up that one because we end up taking this short on the combine because, again, I'm trying to make the money back. And let me find it here. So we end up getting short on one of them. How do I even have it? I don't have the video of it. But if we go to the combine and we go to the micro, I'll show you guys the executions right here. We go short 3 micros here, but we got in late, right? We should have got in right here when the 2-minute closed. We got in at 17, which it was really bad, right? We saw it start moving, and I got FOMO, so I entered. And then we hit these lows, and I made a little bit, so I made a good chunk back, but I'm still down at this point like $300 and something, right? 380, close to 400. I then get in on this 5-minute fair value gap here because I just thought we were going to continue going lower. So I'll show the video of the 5-minute here. We have this 5-minute trade that I end up getting in, and this is pretty valid in my opinion. I mean, it's not a great entry on my part, but pretty valid. I go break even at that low just because, again, at this point you're playing damage control. I'm down 350 still, and I'm just trying to make the money back, right? That's all I'm thinking about. And I went break even, and it ends up stopping me with no profit. And that's where I think I just had enough. I was just frustrated. I had messed up earlier. I shouldn't be down so much. And again, what was the main reason that was frustrating? Well, I probably shouldn't even been down on the combine because managing both accounts is really frustrating. It's really difficult to manage both accounts because you're having to go back and forth. I'm not copy trading them. So the first loss that we took pre-market, fine. Then we take the loss on the trade that should have been break even. Now we're down an extra 200-300. Then we take a loss that stops us out. Kind of unlucky, but it's fine, right? We had our stop loss there. We get stopped out. So now we're down 3 trades that we should have been down 1. We kind of get unlucky on the other, and we don't re-enter when we should re-enter because of, just trying to manage both accounts. I didn't want to for the third time go and try and manage the combine at the same time just in case it lost. So I was like, I'm just going to do this on the Express account. And that one ends up working, so we don't re-enter on the one that ends up winning. So now it's like my head is just almost gone at this point. I try and make some back on good trades. I'm hesitant now. If I wasn't hesitant, I get in right on this 2-minute close. And if I got in with the 5 micros I've been trading, I get on the 5 micros, and we hold to this low, and we get 70 points at $700. We have a winning day, right? We make it all back. After this point, literally right after I get break even stopped, let's move these over here. Literally right after I get break even stopped on that one that I just showed you on the micros, this is where I start losing my head. I go in, I'm like, I start convincing myself, hey, this is definitely going to do this. So I jump in with a full contract, 2 of them. Just, what am I doing, right? What am I doing? Up until this point, I haven't really done anything horrible. I've just been getting caught up in trying to manage the 2 accounts, and it just didn't really work out well. I end up taking this trade, and honestly, I'm pretty, I should never have done this, what I'm showing you guys, but honestly, I don't know how this account didn't get blown. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that because I'm the best DJ I'm better at being a DJ than all of you guys. Obviously, it's not a flex. I'm not celebrating that. But at this point, I'm down 260 because I just moved my stop because I was afraid. So I'm like, oh, it's definitely gonna keep going lower. Let me just squeeze out the last little bit, dude. That's always the famous last word of just being a DJ. And I'm like, cool, this thing's 100% going to just keep running. It's going to keep running. It's going to keep running. So I jump back in. I don't know why with 2 micros or 2 full contracts. I literally bottom ticket. I look like I'm, just a fool, right? I'm just an idiot. And it's down 700. And at this point, I'm like, okay, do I just hold it? What do I do here? I could only let the account get to 50K. And you might not be able to see it, but this was right at 51,000. So I had $1,000, which is not much with 2 contracts, especially when the market's moving. I'm freaking down $1,000. This was bad. I don't know how I recovered this. I'm telling you, I'm an insane DJ. But I started recording it because I was like, man, this actually if I get out of this is pretty impressive. I almost thought about just doubling down and selling again there to try and average my fill lower. I'm very happy I didn't do that. And we're getting in dangerous territory. We lose the account at 50 grand because we were over 2,000 to start the day. We're at $600. It gets even worse. And making the decision to cut my losses was the best thing I could have done. But it also just felt like suicide. At the same time, it felt like the account was done. If I'm being honest. And I ended up closing it. I closed the trade because I'm like, if it goes up any further, my account's blown. I have $286 of drawdown from being a degen. Again, I don't like to make these videos. It's embarrassing for me, but I've seen all the comments I can see. I almost go with 5, and this is this is a rescue job on this account. So let's just appreciate, right? We shouldn't do this. Let's just appreciate how we get out of this situation. We go in one full contract. We can't lose more than $260, and I'm like, we need something. Let's make something happen. I'm throwing Hail Marys at this point. I'm throwing Hail Marys. We get in, we start banking a little bit in, and then we bank 140 there. Boom, we have a little more breathing room. We have $400 now. We were back against the wall. $260, man. And when you're using these contracts with the market moving, it starts getting dangerous. Again, man, I don't need you guys to say, oh, why are we glorifying? I'm not glorifying this, man, whatsoever. But this is pretty remarkable, man. This is pretty remarkable. And I have it on the video, so I kind of want to just let it go and show you guys a master at work, right? If you guys ever need something to get you out of a drawdown, get me, right? We kind of squeeze like nothing there after commissions, but I'm throwing haymakers now. Like my back is I'm on the ropes, man. Like I'm about to get knocked out, and it stinks. It really stinks. I go short here. No, I go long here. I'm just trying to like bottom tick moves and try and get some like anything. We make like a little bit. We make like $30 after commission, just not worth it. And now I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? 470. Like I'm in the hole 1,600. At the worst, I was down 1,800 realized. And I'm like, what do I do? And I was just still kind of looking to just scalp longs because when you're doing this, you're not really thinking. But I kept going, and then I see it start dumping. I'm like, okay, I knew I couldn't catch a dump. I couldn't go long and have this thing just keep dumping. I knew I was cooked. And I looked at this. I looked at my drawdown. I had $470. That means on 2 micros or 2 full contracts, I had a little bit of room. I had like 10 points. And I'm like, this inversion, you got to save me. Like this inverse has to save me here. And I like have a limit order at the low, and it's starting to feel like the comeback, right? It's starting to feel like a comeback. At this point, I'm like, man, this is going to do it. This is going to do it. Start flushing. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're about to get this. And I low key, like I had proper risk, like in terms of my stop wasn't super invalid. Even though I was on the 2 full contracts, like my stop was in a decent spot. Like I had the margin to risk that, but it was like, this is my last trade if this doesn't go well. I moved to break even just because it's like, I don't know. It's tough to just make that decision and be like, yep, this is the one. It starts running. I'm up 500. I'm like, man, we're going to somehow crawl out of this hole. And we end up getting stopped here at break even or like for a small gain. Let's see what happens. Like a really small gain. We get a small gain. We made like $60. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to let this get into, if it can get into this fair value gap, I'm just going to have to go for it and just pray, man. I'm like, this just has to be it, right? This has to be it. It gets in there, wicks the fair value gap, and I'm like, this has to be it. Now or never. We're risking the account here. Stop at that low, and it got dangerous. I'm like, okay, why even have a stop at this point? I'm down inside $200. Inside $200 of wiggle room. That's not even 5 points. Or no, it was like 5 points. I had 5 points on the NQ left. Before I was cooked, before it was GG. 160. Wow. 120. Dude, this is actually insane watching back. Like, I'm trying to have some fun, man. We're trying to enjoy this, man. This is for entertainment only. Do not do what I do, right? Don't do what I do. This is entertainment only. And again, you guys know how much I want to succeed at trading. I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. We all have days like this. You guys know I don't treat this as a joke. I don't want to glorify this. I don't want to, I'm trying to make light of it, but this is a frustrating day, right? This is a frustrating day. I go break even there, and I'm like, please, I should have moved that limit a little bit lower. We're up 800. Boom, we lock in a little bit more breathing room just in case it stops us. And now it's like a full haymaker. We've got to hit this low. we've got to hit this low. And I was like, cool, what can we do? And at this point, I'm like, man, I should just kill it. $700 here. I need to just get out, man. Like, this is a big move. Like, what, like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need to be greedy. We don't need it all back. We've rescued enough. We'd only be down like 400. But when you're doing this, you're not thinking about only being down 400. You're thinking about being back. And this was a rescue job, and we got sent a lob. I was just really considering if it flushed down to like 1K, just getting out. But I was like, man, like I just don't want to, because I knew myself. I knew I would keep going until the account was either blown. On a day like this, the account's either blown or we're back to even, right? And it's frustrating. It's definitely not how things should go. But this was the rescue mission, right? It ends up coming lower. It ends up getting like really close. And I'm like, I'm up 1,000. Do I just close the trade? I'll only be down like $100. Let me just, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like locked in. I'm locked in now. I'm like, I literally, I can't get out. I cannot get out. And then it starts wicking, and it's like, cool, I can't blow the account on this trade, but it was like, man, are you kidding me? So I move my stop there. That gets me above the break-even point. I'm like, I just need something, man. I need a miracle here. And we get that, man. We get that right here. It just flushes, and it's like, boom, right there. And it was nice. It was nice for sure. But let's be honest, guys. We know better. We know a lot better. But sometimes different things happen, and it just puts you in that position. I take full accountability for that. I should never have done that. I should never have done that. I should never even been in a situation to do that. But it was frustrating because, in my opinion, I should not have really been down, if at all, on the combine. So being down, managing the two accounts just put me on tilt, and I just wanted to make it back, and I just lost control. Then you might wonder how we're up to 180. Well, we actually ended up catching a pretty banger trade here. We took this short because I wanted to see the equal lows from yesterday's FOMC. So I get in short here on 1 micro right here on the 2-minute inversion. I go break even at this low, and I closed it for 100 points. I'll show that execution. So we closed it for 100 points, which made like $200. Really decent trade. That was not it. That was the one we showed earlier. But yeah, decent trade. I'll show you guys just the end of it. It ran for a while. And then when it just flushed through here, I had my stop trailed, and I was like, yeah, I mean, let's be realistic. 100 points is 100 points. I don't care if your take profits another whatever, it's 100 points, right? If we learn anything from today, it's just not be greedy, right? Just do the right thing, right? So we see 100 points, and I close it for like 97, 98, 99 points. And I end the day there, right? I was like, cool, I'm done. You know what I mean? And the frustrating part is that today, objectively, was pretty clean. Like, this setup was good. The 5-minute gets respected really well here. If we look at the chart, we had the Judas swing, we have the SMT, we have displacement lower, we hold the 5-minute, we displace again, we have the 2-minute inside this, we have targets, we had this target, we went lower, and I still think we have a chance to keep going lower. And today was clean, right? Even the long side was pretty clean. I didn't allow myself to, benefit too much from the day because of, rash decisions. So that was the explanation today. Obviously, I keep it 100% transparent when, most people aren't going to. Who's going to show you that, right? Anyone that's trying to protect their image is not going to show you that, but I don't care because this is trading. This is my flaws. This is, what I struggle with, stuff like that. And we've been doing better. You guys have seen me doing better. I know I'm getting better. I'm not just oblivious to what I did today, but I'm not going to sit here and let it ruin the progress. I'm not going to start second guessing myself. I'm not going to start being fearful. I still can read the charts well. Like, dude, all of the trades that I took, even besides some of the just degen ones, I still can read the chart well. I still understand what I'm looking at. I can still read the chart well. I just let myself get in my own way, get in my own head. And on the Express account today, I'm happy with how I traded. I think I traded fantastic on the Express account. I don't think I did anything wrong. Maybe taking 1 micro or 2 micros instead of 1. I'm going to still stick with the 1 micro. I personally like 2 micros more, but I just don't like the risk. I don't like the risk 100 on this account yet, given that's my only one. Once I get a few more combines passed, I will be open to risking more, maybe 2 micros. But I'm just more comfortable with the 1 micro risk until I'm executing well. That's just me. So that's the only complaint about this account. But besides that, I traded this account very well today. I'm very happy with the move I caught on the Express account. Combine, not happy at all. But we recognize the triggers that caused us to do these things. And we just have to not let it happen in the future, right? We just have to not let it happen, right? We can't make blame on the market. It's still my fault. I still pushed the buttons, even though I was managing both accounts. I still was the one that made the decisions. I'm still the one that let it affect me. And that just can't happen, right? Hopefully, we can just get out of this nightmare of an account and pass it. We need like 600 more bucks. That would be the dream, is just pass it quick. Because, again, I'm trying to get the 5 combines passed. So ideally, we can just pass this and just get out of the combine. I really think that the combine is like one of the worst things to trade mentally, because it's just like, I don't feel like I'm big and bad now that I have account pass, but like, it's not real money, and there's no point. Like, it was good by all means. If you haven't passed an account, or if you don't have a strategy, if you're not confident in what you're doing, spend as much time on the combine. That's what I did. That's what I was trying to do. I wasn't focused on passing the combine at first. I was just focused on using the combine because, you want to pass it, even if you don't really know what you're doing. But it gives you a safe area to practice, and you get a little bit of emotions, and you can, get better at trading. So I treated the combine that same way, as if it was my live account. Let me just try and get better at trading, take good setups. I treat my combine like that, but it's so hard for me now to give the combine any respect. Again, not because I'm too good for the combine, but because in the back of my head, it's like, okay, let me just pass this one. Let me get another one. So then I can, take good trades on my Express account, and then I can eventually get payouts. And it's just rushing the process. I talked about it so many times. I just have to be careful when I get myself in a mind frame of trying to rush the process, when I'm not focused on the right things. And it's so easy. It's literally just a trigger, right? It can be one small thing. It's just like for someone that's trying to get over, I always talk about getting over an addiction, right? And doing bad habits and trading is just like getting over an addiction. It can be a small trigger. You can see something on your phone. You can see something in the world. You can have something happen. You can have a feeling, and an addict will do whatever their choice is, right? And they'll have that happen. They'll have it happen, right? Just because of a trigger, right? Just a small thing can send them into a relapse. And that happened to me today on trading. But again, man, I'm so happy with my progress. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let any of you bozos in the comments that want to just leave, oh, this kid's never going to succeed comments. Feel free, right? That says more about you than it does about me. So overall, it's not the end of the world, right? We learn, we move on. It's fine, right? It's cool. Really long one for you guys today. I'm so sorry about that. But there's a lot to talk about today. Today was a crazy day. I'm happy to just get to the other side of it and have another opportunity tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate all you guys. Again, I hate making these videos. I wish I was just lying to you guys and was like, hey, we made $200 today. We made 70 on the combine. We're amazing. I didn't take any videos today. And just not show the executions. But I'm trying to change this trading space slowly but surely. I want to change this trading space to where the expectation just is honesty, right? Because I'd rather be honest than I could easily, and this is how people fool you, right? I could easily just said, hey, we had 280 on this, we got a break even on this first one, then we took this long, and then, we took the long and that one and I could just, oh my gosh, it would just be perfect. It would just, I just took this trade, right? And you guys wouldn't know the difference, right? And there's just no point in that, right? There's just no point in that. So I have to humble myself in front of you guys and show you guys me being a loser. But I will see you guys in the future. I appreciate all you guys. Hopefully you guys had a good day, better than me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.